Everything was going great until it wasn't. Hear that? Oh, just wait, I'll show you. This motor's running, but it's not turning nothing. If I have to get in there and shovel for the next 6 hours, I will. And sometimes you just have to suck it up, which beauty right there. That is Andy's second truck of the day. It is 9:34 and he'll be back around 11:45. Takes about 2 hours. 15 minutes, 2 hours, 30 minutes, depends on the line and how fast he can get unloaded. So on Friday, I had to put the pin in, which opens the sidewells. Before, we were just pulling from the middle. And we were about, let's see, this is, floor's there. So I counted like half a ring, 1, 2, and it was on the third. Now we're gonna see if we're down to the door. Which it sounds like we are. Yep. Oh God, it's nasty. Ugh. Well, well, well. Good, here we go. Oh, okay. All right, well, it looks like we're down to the sweep now. And I will have to figure this out on my own. So the person who's allergic to wheat has to clean out the bin this week because Matt is on the hooded sprayer. Sometimes you just have to make sacrifices. I will be wearing a mask, long sleeves, and I'll have to put on some pants. So it's also 106 degrees here. And not a rain shower in sight. Which is getting pretty bad because if we don't get a rain soon, we're gonna have things that are gonna burn up quickly. Especially the corn. The corn is filling out right now, and without any rain in 3.5 weeks, it's stressing. Our double crop beans are stressing. So we're just gonna hope and pray that we'll get about 1 inch of rain here in, I'm hoping in the next couple of days. There's a chance every day. So, well, let's go get the bin set up. Here are the tools you're gonna need to clean out a bin. A really good scoop, a leaf blower with fresh batteries, a broom, wasp spray. Well, it's not here because I used them all because the tiny little devils came out and tried to exterminate me, but now they're exterminated and gone back to help. Also, you need a really good mask. We do have full face ones. This one works better for me personally, and also I did not mean to match, but I look fabulous. So if you want to look fabulous, just make sure you match. I got this off of Amazon. It was like $4. I figured it'll keep the dust out and the sweat in to make me cool. So now we're gonna go retrieve the cord and plug it up. And gonna pray that everything goes well. I'm also wearing boots and I didn't feel like changing out of my shorts because it's too freaking hot. Well, not the sweep, but we're gonna turn on the loop. Ah, get out of here. Go, go. Oh, Jesus. You pissed I killed your friends? Oh, God. Oh. Great, now I can even plug it in because he's trying to go home. And your home is crushed, home slice. Let's make sure that it's actually flipped. Spin sweep 2 is on. Okay. Let's go try it out. Beautiful, Clark. Beautiful, look at that. Pretty proud of myself on that one. And now I gotta get in and kick it. Go! Everything was going great until it wasn't. Hear that? Oh, just wait, I'll show you. Yeah. This motor's running, but it's not turning nothing. So I think the key is sheared in it, and yeah, we're not fixing that. Own green bins, they said it'll be wonderful. So now my plan is to catch my breath because holy cow, it's probably 130 degrees in here. I'm gonna do the best I can to kind of just flow this. I'm gonna open the other side and see if we can get at least 2 more trucks in before we can't. We leave for South Dakota next Tuesday. Every year something, I swear. Ah, come on. Before the end of the day. I just have to catch my breath. It is, woo! I'm gonna, no, I'm not gonna let this stuff win. This happens every year before we try and take a vacation, and I'm not messing with it. I'm not letting Satan win. It's gonna be a positive day. If I have to get in there and shovel for the next 6 hours, I will, and if I take breaks, because it's been a hard 7 months. Sometimes you just have to suck it up. Which, trust me, I do all the time, so. But yeah, stick along for the ride. It's always a fun one around here. Okay, so that did the trick because I had half of a truck, well, a little less than half a truck left over, and now I've got a truck and a half in the bins from opening up that other side. Andy is on his way back. It is almost 2:30, so I'm gonna get him loaded, then I'm gonna get back in here. And I'm gonna try and just kind of make like a little landslide, if you will, and get enough to have a truck that will be able to go up first thing in the morning tomorrow. Matt said that Miss Becky and I think someone from Watkins is supposed to be here around 4:30, 5 o'clock, so let's hope and pray that it's an easy fix. And if not, then I will keep shoveling that like a landslide, if I have to get the rest of this wheat delivered. Best I'm doing is literally jumping in the pool and getting out. So you do what you have to do to make sure your grain is delivered, especially before you leave. And we're gonna have to bill our landlords, and we have to send people checks, and we have to pay our own bills. So I would like to have it done in the next couple of days. If I have to sacrifice and get in there, then I will. At least the wind is blowing this way, and it's kind of cool in between the bins, so it's helping a little bit.
Well, look how clear that view is right there. Crystal clear, almost like I ain't got a windshield. And I don't know if y'all remember, but back I think last year, like this front windshield cracked running across it, and anyway I had to have it replaced this spring or winter. You know, we got all of our tractors tinted. Well, the windshield didn't have any tint on it, and finally decided I'd need to set up a time to have a guy come out and re-tint my front windshield. And well, today was the only day he had available. So anyway, we got nice fresh film of tint on our windshield there, which not a moment too soon, because with this heat dome we need all the protection we can get inside the cabs, trying to keep the heat down, because you know, with all this glass surrounding us, I don't care how good your AC system is, when it's 97, 98 degrees outside and that sun's beating through that glass, there's not an AC on this planet that will keep this cab nice and cool. Anyway, we got the windshield retinted. We got 35% on the front, then we got our 5% sun strip there at the top. I know a lot of people in the past have asked me, you know, is it worth it tinting the windows on your tractor? Does it make it hard to see at night or anything? And the answer to the question is it is absolutely 100% well worth it to tint the windows on the tractor, because when you're mostly using a tractor, you know, during the summer, you know, it's hot, and these air conditioner systems can really struggle to kind of keep up. And that window tint, especially if you get the high quality ceramic tint, it really helps the performance of the AC. Normally can keep it pretty dang comfortable in here and not have to run your AC and your blower wide open all day long. It absolutely does help. But anyway, what we got, like I said, we got 35% on the front with a 5% strip. And then on all the sides and the back glass, we've got 20% on there. And working at night, I mean, it does make it darker to see at night. There's no doubt about that. But with these modern tractors, where they're either HID or LED lighting packages, it's not any problem seeing what you're doing at night. Not any problem at all. Now, older tractors still got halogen lights on them. Yeah, it probably not going to be much fun, but I mean, they make so many replacement LED kits now, HID kits. You know, you could upgrade the lights on just about any tractor now to something that's real nice and bright for low cost without much problem at all. So yeah, the window tint is absolutely worth it. The big problem with the window tinting ag equipment is that, at least in this area, it's hard to find anybody that's willing to do it, because it's not easy, because you got a big pane of curved glass that can be really tricky to put tint on, because it's got to be shrunk and formed to the curvature of the window. And when you're dealing with that large expanse, you know, it takes somebody pretty skilled in tinting windows to be able to do it and make it look good and make sure it's going to last a long time. Anyway, the guy that did it for me, his name's Brian Renfro. He owns a Shady Tint there in Humboldt. And anyway, he's been doing all my window tinting here for the last several years. He did a sprayer and done a few other things. Although he stays so busy, he told me he doesn't know how much longer he's going to be doing ag equipment, just because he doesn't have to. And also, most of these tint guys are such perfectionists in their jobs. The environment of a tractor with all the dust and dirt, even if you clean a tractor, there's still going to be dust and dirt. you know, and the potential of getting little particles behind the tint, and then, you know, you got little bubbles and stuff like that. It can be really frustrating. That's why a lot of guys don't like messing with tinting ag equipment, which I understand that and everything, but like I told him, like, man, it's a tractor, man. Anything you can do is really going to help me out on the AC. Even if it's not a picture perfect show job, I'm okay with it. But I mean, right now it looks like a picture perfect show job. They really did an awesome job. But anyway, y'all take a look at this cotton out here. I mean, we're in some absolutely beautiful cotton. This is some of our original planted cotton. We do have some replanted on this farm in the wetter areas, but right here, I mean, we got a great stand. I mean, look at it, just a pretty decent amount of my cotton. Could not look any better right now. And even the replant is really playing a lot of catch up with these boiling temperatures we got outside. It's accumulating a lot of DD60s every single day, and it's catching up. On the flip side, these hot temperatures helping the cotton, but it is absolutely hammering my corn crop, especially in Crockett County, where we've had less than a ½ inch of rain in the last 3 to 3.5 weeks. Our corn is starting to cook over there. I mean, it's still looking a lot better than what the neighbors is as far as withstanding drought conditions, but it's starting to go backwards. You know, everything we've done with soil health to be able to increase the water holding capacity of our soils, I mean, it's absolutely helping and paying off. And I'd estimate with what we've done, it's bought us about an extra week's worth of dry weather before my crops start suffering. But it don't matter what you do, you don't get any rain for a long time, your crop's going to start to go backwards. And our corn crop on that thin hill ground is starting to go backwards. And not only the dry weather is hammering it, but the temperatures. I mean, we're right in the middle of a major heat streak. I think the high today is supposed to be 97, 98 degrees with heat indexes about 112 to 115. I mean, it's freaking hot out there. Corn doesn't like hot weather, and it sure don't like weather that hot. But what's even worse than the high temperatures during the day is the nighttime temperatures. For the next several days, I mean, our low temperatures are supposed to be around 77, 78 degrees. And to tell you the truth, that's doing far more damage than the drought conditions and the high daytime temperatures, because, you know, at night, that's when our plants grow and they need to be respired. But if it doesn't cool down at night, stays so hot, you know, those plants, they can't cool themselves down. They can't grow. They can't respire. And that's going to be even more detrimental to yields than the high day temperatures and the drought conditions. Yeah, ideally, perfect temperatures for corn would be highs around 88 to 90 degrees a day, and lows, you know, somewhere between 65 and 70 at night. That would be ideal temperatures. You add another 10 degrees to that on each end of the spectrum, corn don't like it. And I don't know how bad it's affecting yield, but I know our yield is going backwards every single day, and really we don't have a good chance of rain in the forecast. I think this weekend is supposed to cool down by a couple degrees for 2 or 3 days, and then the temperature is supposed to shoot right back up next week. What started out as a beautiful corn crop at home is going backwards in a hurry, and there ain't a dang thing I can do about it. Now, our corn up here in Madison County, it's faring better. You know, it's got between 1 inch and 2 inches of rain last week, so it's faring better. But in the thinner spots, it's already starting to twist up, and, you know, this time next week, it's likely to be in the same boat as what our corn back home is. But that's a prime example of why we stay pretty even on our crop acreages, on rotating crops and not going whole hog into one crop. Just spread a risk around. You know, this weather right now is detrimental to my corn crop, but my cotton crop is just what it needs. So while I was cursing my cotton crop earlier this year with the problems we had getting a stand and then the constant rain and the cotton not growing, here we are, a month and a half, 2 months later, the picture looks a whole lot different. Cotton's looking like it might be the profitable crop this year, whereas my corn crop that I thought was going to carry the mail earlier this year, it could be one of our worst crops. Anyway, I don't know how much filming Kelly and Andy have done, but Andy's just about done a haul of grain. Probably got about a day and a half left. He'll be done hauling grain. Kelly's running the bin sweep. Well, she is now. She got started running yesterday and ran about 20 minutes and it stopped running. Come to find out, the gearbox on that brand new sweep, well, it's 2 years old now. The gearbox, something broke in the gearbox. That's the second gearbox on these new paddle sweeps I've had break. Anyway, trying to find out from GSI what the deal is and what they're doing to beef them up, because there's no way 2 gearbox on 2 brand new sweeps should have broken in the last year, but they have. But anyway, Watkins and Sons, who does all our grain bin stuff, they had a crew in the area. They were able to come out yesterday, get it taken apart, and got it fixed first thing this morning. So if y'all are building a grain system and you're wanting one of those GSI paddle sweeps, before you buy it and have it installed, better have a talk with whoever you're buying it from and seeing if GSI has done anything about those gearboxes. And something else we're having to consider also right now, we leave next Tuesday. It's Tuesday today. We're leaving next Tuesday to, we're first going to the Ag PhD field day to speak at it, and then right after that, we're leaving for our summer vacation. And we're trying to make sure that our cotton is going to be taken care of while we're gone, as far as insects, growth regulator, and everything. So my crop scout scouted my cotton yesterday. We had a conversation about a plan, and we got a little bit of cotton we need to spray this week, but we're going to try and spray it towards the tail end of the week. If everything goes according to plan, that should buy us 2 weeks of not having to spray the cotton. And then all the rest of our cotton that did need to be sprayed this week, we're going to start in next Monday and spraying all the rest of our cotton. If the insecticides do what they're supposed to do, that should buy us 2 weeks of not having to get our cotton sprayed. You know, Andy will still be here while we're on vacation, but I mean, he needs somebody to tender him water and everything to spray. I mean, he could spray, you know, some of that cotton right there around the shop and just drive back into the shop to fill up if it needs spraying. But you get on the way up here in Madison County, it's just not feasible to do that. So I think we got us a pretty good plan going forward to keep our crop taken care of while we're gone. Anyway, we got about 2.5 days of running this hooded sprayer. We still got to spray our early beans with fungicide, although with this drought, hot, dry weather, my thoughts on the fungicide are changing a little bit. We're still going to spray it, but we're not going to use a premium fungicide, because with conditions like this, any disease out there is not progressing really quick. But we do have a little bit of frog eye out there, so I found some generic Quadris SBX. Going to run me about $8 an acre. We're going to put that on there rather than putting, you know, a premium high dollar fungicide that would cost about twice as much. So we got to do that towards the tail end of the week also. We're going to be plumb humping it right up till the moment that we leave to go on vacation. Alright, I just want to give y'all a look at some of this replanted versus original cotton. Right here we're in original cotton. You can see there's some few skips and stuff out here, but you can see a lot of these plants have really closed in a lot of the gaps, and it's compensating for a thin stand. Now, obviously right there, that's a spot I missed and should have dropped the planter down. But that's a problem when you're going through and just trying to spot plant in heavy cover crop. It's just really hard to see everything. Now let me get on up here to a place where I dropped the planter down and kind of show you the difference. All right, you kind of see that line right there. This is non-replanted, this is replanted. Look at the height difference as we go past it. You can see there's quite a bit significant height difference there, and that's getting into what I told you I was kind of scared about with keeping some of the original cotton, because it had been so waterlogged for so long that I thought that there was some root damage. Maybe the cotton had lost a lot of its vigor because it was suffering through less than ideal conditions, and that's the result right there. All right, right up here we get to a spot where I dropped the planter down. You can kind of see the line, look, kind of shorter cotton. And then we're getting up into cotton that has, height-wise, already surpassed the original planted cotton. Now that original planted cotton, it's developmentally, it's still ahead of the replanted cotton. It's already started blooming, whereas the replanted cotton, it's right at the point of starting blooming. So if I had to guess, I'd say there's probably about a week, maybe a week and a half difference developmentally in the replanted versus the original cotton. But just like I showed you right there, a lot of the original cotton had already lost its vigor, a lot of its energy to really just get up and grow. Doesn't mean it's not recovering, it's still not going to make good cotton, but it's not going to make as good a cotton as it could have if it hadn't gotten all that damage. All right, here's kind of a wetter spot of the field. You see, we kept this right here, and then right here is where I dropped the planter down, and it's taller and looks more robust, even if it's just still a little bit behind developmentally. But when we come to pick this, there's definitely going to be a pretty stark difference in, you know, the bushiness of the cotton, you know, the lapping of the rows and everything else. So that brings up the question: did I make the right call in spot planting this cotton rather than replanting the whole field? Ultimately, yes, I think I made the absolute right call. There's some more areas of the field that I should have gotten, but it's really very small acreages, and I think I did a pretty dang good job in spot planting this cotton. And seeing as how the original planted cotton is a week to a week and a half ahead developmentally, that means it's going to have time to set and hold more fruit than what the replanted cotton will be. But those holes that I filled in by replanting, you know, the few plants that was out there, you know, the replanted cotton is definitely going to make more cotton than the original planted in those thin areas where I did replant. So ultimately, I mean, I think I made the best of a pretty bad situation. And that's the thing with farming, you know, sometimes there's really no right call. You know, there's bad calls and there's worse calls, and basically what you're trying to do is just make the best out of a bad situation, and that's what we did here. You know, there was no road to reaching 100% yield potential with cotton in this field at that point. You know, there wasn't. It was just trying to mitigate as many of the losses as we could and come up with a situation that had a chance to be successful. And ultimately, I think that's exactly what we did.